Hello and welcome back. That might have just cut me off, but anyway, we are going to continue our journey in Pathfinder Kingmaker. Uh, when we last picked off, we did a lot of talking, pretty much with just what's her name in there, Lindsay. Uh, so It's probably a lot more talking to do in this episode, and I'm also going to make this the last episode I do today before I head into work. So, um, with that, let's get started. Let's go talk to Boken over here. You want some potions? Show me what you have. Okay, yeah, he definitely has potions. A couple wands. Okay, let's talk to him. Can I help you in any way? Well, since you're asking, there's a cave nearby. I used to pick berries in there, but the place has been overrun by spiders. The berries are red. Look a lot like raspberries. Fangberries, I call them. I'd be really grateful if you gathered a basket of them and brought them back. Just be quick if you do. They spoil quickly. Those spiders in the cave are mean. Here, let me give you some alchemist fire, pretty much. Created it myself, burn those spiders to a crisp. That will teach them for taking my fangberry cave. I also need a bucket of moon radishes. They're a rare and mysterious plant. I don't know where to find them, but I know that kobolds gather them and value them highly. It's not a huge deal, really. I'd do it myself if I were younger, but if you're willing, I'll pay you. 3 potions for the berries and a purse full of coins for the radishes. Why do you need the fangberries and moon radishes, Boken? You want to know, huh? Well, I'll gladly tell you after you bring them to me. Alright, well, I'll try to help. Just watch out, alright? Don't end up someone's lunch. I should go. Okay. Harem. Ugh, what? Ah, it's you, Tyus. Did I startle you? I'm sorry. Oh no, that doesn't matter. I was just contemplating the futility of existence and the worthlessness of the universe. The ways of Grotius are great. My humble mortal mind cannot fully grasp them. But I do what I can. Harem smiles apologetically. Tell me about your past. My life is divided into 2 parts. The first was filled with blind wondering, doubts, and attempts to serve Torag. The second part begins when I accepted Grotius into my soul and received a clear vision of the world. What exactly would you like to know? Where are you from? My life story began in Larid, a city of dwarven clerics and acolytes. They served Torag and the other dwarven gods. Torag's brothers, Angrad and Magrim, Torag's wife Fulgrit, his daughter Bolka, his sons Grundinar, Coles, and Trud, and also Torag's sister Drangivit. God, I knew I was setting myself up for that. I wouldn't be surprised if they built a temple to Torag's pet dog. Sorry, I let myself get carried away. Larad is the 2nd largest dwarven city in the 5 King Mountains. It's built up around numerous temple caverns, which serve as places of worship for all the dwarven gods. Many pilgrims from every corner of Galarian come to Larid and pay their gods some remain to live there. The city is simply imbued with faith. You can't swing a dead cat without hitting a cleric. It's no surprise, inspired by the aura of the city, that I decided as a young boy to dedicate all my efforts to becoming a cleric of Torag. You once tried to serve Torag? Not just tried, it was a burning passion. I craved it by day and dreamt of it at night. Harem shakes his head as if amazed by his own stupidity. You see, Tyus, from my first days I felt the presence of the god at my back. I heard his whispers and felt his powers. Though the nature of this power was unclear to me, I thought Torag himself was trying to speak to me, and I did all I could to understand his words. Oh, what a naive fool I was. I had no idea that Torag, that uncompromising, conceited god glamorized by all dwarves, was capable of betrayal. He turned away from me, Tyus. He left me in the hour when I put all my hopes in him and desperately needed his support. Torag is the god of craftsmanship, so every follower, especially the clerics, must smith their own suit of armor. The day when this work is finished, it's like the second birthday for a dwarf. He's newly born into the eyes of Torag. My second birthday never came. I couldn't make armor, not even a sword, not even a simple nail. My hammer smashed my fingers, I fell on my feet. Molten iron burned my hands. The clerics laughed as they healed me. They used to say I was cursed by Torag, so finally I gave up any attempt to please the betrayer god. Even if Torag really rejected you, is that enough reason for you to leave your homeland? You don't know much about dwarves. How can a dwarf cursed by Torag go on living in a city where every single soul bows to Torag? I was alone, disgraced, humiliated, insulted. I was trying to drown my sorrows in drink, but even the owner of the cheapest pub on the road would laugh at me while he put those mugs in front of me. I couldn't take it any longer. I wanted everything to end. But there was one thing that kept me going and prevented me from ending my life. I could still hear that divine whisper behind my back. It was yet faint. It took a long time before I could hear it clearly, but having heard it once, I could never forget. It was clear that none of Lared's deities favored me, so I left the 5 King Mountains and went out searching. I didn't think dwarves ever worshipped Grotius. How did you learn about him? Oh, but that blessed day became the beginning of a new life. Alone and abandoned by all, I spent many dull hours in a filthy tavern by the roadside. I don't recall the town, nor even the country. I had no money. In fact, all I had was a hunk of stale bread. I was weary and almost fainting from hunger. And that was the moment when the worshipper from my God became more clear. The whisper from my God became more clear. It was like he was calling me. At last my sufferings had come to an end. It was a miracle, Tyus, and I had paid full price for it with my torments. I couldn't control myself. I walked out of the tavern and straight into the nearest forest, and there I found the ruined temple of Eredin, the lost god. Several figures clad in robes were holding a silent service there, a service to a god I knew nothing of. None minded when I stood beside them. For the first time in my life I felt myself at home. My new brothers told me that they were clerics of Grotius, the god of end times. They were traveling around Galerion, spreading the teaching of Grotius, despite all the persecution, contempt, and misjudgment they received from others. I gladly shared this burden for them, for now I knew whose voice had whispered to me through all those years. Wait, so you couldn't make a simple nail, and you blamed Torag? Are you suggesting that my problem was not a curse, just my own inability to work with metal? Or maybe you're saying that I was just too lazy. You're a fool if you think so, an ignorant fool. Have you ever met a dwarf who can't handle a smith's hammer? Even our children craft knives. No, 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 no. Torag is the curse of my sufferings. The betrayer god deliberately cursed me just to make a laughing stock out of me. But I won't let myself get angry at you, Titus. You're an ignorant and blind soul, and my aim is to guide you through this dying world that marches towards its end. I will open your eyes or die trying. Grotius will be pleased by either outcome. Oh my gosh. Like to learn more about dwarves. Most dwarves are self-satisfied, stubborn fools serving Torag. They don't deserve my good attitude. But you can ask what you want to know. I'll try to answer. Tell me about the Five King Mountains. The Dwarven Kingdom, yes. Well, it's to the south from here. It's survived many trials, and there will be more yet to come. There is no unity among the dwarves, Titus. The five kings rule over our people. They sit on the thrones of the five greatest cities, and with every passing day it grows harder for them to come to any agreement. The only thing uniting the Five King Mountains is the Sky Citadel, or the High Helm, the great dwarven fortress in the mountain's heart. Have the dwarves always lived on the surface? No. Eons ago all dwarves lived deep beneath the surface, and they did rather well judging by the historic records. They built fortresses befitting noble dwarves, but our restless god Torag sent us a prophecy, the quest for the sky. He ordered all dwarves to abandon their fortresses and press upwards, to show their beards to the sun, as they say. This journey was long and bloody. Many dwarves perished on the way. Others turned back, keeping to their ancient strongholds, eventually to turn into evil Draugr, grey dwarves. But those who survived reached the surface and founded the Sky Citadels, the most glorious cities in dwarven histories. Tell me about these Sky Citadels. Oh, they are the peaks of creation, glorious cities built by the ancient dwarves who finally reached the surface after many hardships, performing the final labor in their quest for the sky. On the surface of Golarion, they are steadfast, tall, magnificent, and they are beautiful. The 10 citadels were built by dwarves, but they've managed to keep only a few. The citadels crumbled, and the orcs swore enemies of our people, trampled their blessed streets, and ruined the gorgeous palaces of the ancient kings. These were heavy losses, and a disgrace to our people, Titus. High Helm is the jewel of the citadels that remains. It is located in the heart of the mountains and the heart of every dwarf. Yes, my heart too. There's a dwarven saying that if an enemy reaches High Helm, every dwarf from all corners of the world will come to defend it. I'd be there too, but not to help the Citadel's defenders. I'd be there to witness the fall of our people with my own eyes and mourn it. I would fall upon the cold stone and raise my final prayer to Grotius. I'd like to talk about your god, Grotius. Dang, Alexa's just talking to me. That was strange. You wish to learn about Grotius. Harium, surprised, and pleased at the same time. Yes, of course, I will answer anything you ask. What are Grotius' teachings about in a nutshell? Grotius is the end of all that exists. Look around, Titus. What do you see? Look again and realize that everything will be destroyed. Our clothing, our armor will turn to dust, the walls of the palaces will crumble into ruins, the trees will fall, and you and I will die much sooner than that. Grotius is a timeless watcher. He's been locked away by Farishma, the goddess of rebirth, from her boneyard who watches over the world, knowing the time for final reaping shall come. He's the bloated moon hanging in the sky. He's the harbinger of the last days. He's the one who will stay when all the others are gone. Pharisma has Grotius locked in her boneyard, so she's stronger than Grotius. Of course she is stronger, for how? Grotius is weaker than Pharisma and many other gods. I would be a fool if I tried to claim otherwise. If Grotius were stronger, the end times would already have come, wouldn't they? But the power of the other gods fade away. They dissolve slowly. A grain in the century. Grotius collects all those grains and waits. He doesn't need to hurry. He knows what his time shall come. When his time shall come. Usually clerics can speak with their gods. What does Grotius say to you? What is his will? Grotius doesn't speak to his clerics. Actually, Grotius doesn't need any clerics. He only allows his whispers to be heard, and only by those who are dying to hear them. His words are unclear, but they call to you. His voice comes with the soft and rustle of the fallen leaves, with the woeful wailing wind at the mountain pass, with the roar of a raging blizzard. It calls you to strike out on the road, onwards, always onwards, over the pass, over the bridge, and farther along, up ahead, where the edge of a gray road flashed and the candles spurred for the last time before dying. Onwards, always onwards, until your feet can no longer carry you. Thanks for telling me about that. Let me ask you, what do you think about Grotius? It was interesting to learn about him. No more, no less. I'll be glad to talk with you about Grotius anytime, Tyrus. After all, that's why I travel in your company. Have you ever regretted your decision to abandon Torag and start worshipping Grotius instead? Your question might seem offensive, Tyrus, but I'm not offended. I realize you ask it because you wish to learn more about Grotius. Torag betrayed me, Tyrus. All he's ever done was look down with contempt on all my futile efforts to please him. I crafted armor plates, but they fell apart with a single strike of a fist. I smithed swords, but they broke at the hilt. Torag's priests used to say that such failures were the curse of their uncompromising deity. It was Grotius who opened my eyes. He showed me that failure is a manifestation of his will. The end time is near, Tius, and every failure is just another step towards it. Torag's curse is only half the reason for my failure. The other half is the blessing of Grotius, which I have borne from early childhood. So the short answer to your question is no, I've never regretted. From what I've heard, Grotius doesn't spare the minds of his clerics. They all go insane eventually. Is that true? Ha! Who told you that? I'd like to look that slanderer in the eye. You see, Tius, sanity is quite a relative concept. Each of us is certain that he's the sanest creature in the world. Meanwhile, we periodically doubt the sanity of others. So what happens if 2 or 3 people claim that someone else is insane? Does that make it true? Perhaps the accusers have lost their minds themselves. The longer a cleric listens to the whispers of Grotius, the better he comprehends the essence of his design. And the deeper his understanding becomes. When enlightenment comes, the day of the cleric ascends to a new level of understanding, which is inaccessible to simpler souls. Is it insanity? This is for you to decide, Tius. My decision was made long ago. When I reach enlightenment, I'll accept it with joy and delight. Well, you learned Grotius' divine plans. Remember to tell me about them. I could use a good laugh. Oh, of course I will tell you. I will tell everyone. The word of Grotius will lead us forward into the inevitable. Thanks for the conversation. I'll be happy to continue our conversation later. God, I hope not. Gather a bucket of room. Okay, that's from
The path is clear.
Who else do I have? I have him. Lindsay and the Barbarian? Is that it? Hey y'all. Are we gonna talk? Alright, spill it. I'm listening. We're just talking. You don't like it? Don't know. Depends what we're gonna talk about. If it's about monsters or swords or scars, I approve. That's good. And if you're gonna ask questions like why and what for and how, screw this. Or you got even harder ones. Just tell me about yourself. First, I'm a barbarian. I'm strong. I grew up in the realm of mammoth lords. I left my tribe, the 6 bears. And I like fights. What's it like to be a barbarian in the 6 bears tribe? Our people are big and strong. We can cut a monster in half with one swing. We can walk 3 days and nights with no rest. We can eat whole fried aurochs. I guess you had to do a lot of training to become as strong as you are. Training? No one freaking trained me. The boys of the 6 bears got the training. All I could do was watch. And you know what? They were still crap even after all that training because I kicked their butts hard. Animals, bandits, monsters, all thought they were stronger than me. Idiots. Because if you start a fight you think you can win, you think you're stronger than your enemy, I defeated them all. See all the scars on my face? What does the realm of mammoth lords look like? Huge and freezing, no place for weaklings. Tribes hunt aurochs, herds to survive. Aurochs are fast, so tribes follow herds for days, just to not die from hunger. If you're weak, you stay behind and die in the snow. Tribe cannot stop. Also, there are giants and mammoths. Sometimes demons come too. The mastodons. And saber-toothed tigers. You would survive, I think, for a few days. Why did you leave your tribe? Because they were assholes, all of them. Men were cowards and scoundrels, and women were scared like sheep. Men think no girl can be a fighter because they are weak. They are afraid of a woman. They are afraid that a woman can beat them. And females just nod, go sew hides, cook meat, watch kids. That's what they always say. But I'm a warrior, damn it. I won't cook hides and watch meat. I told them. I went hunting with the men. And what did I get? Still the same. You are a woman. You stay home. Even gave me a nickname, the Soft Chieftain. Like a warrior woman was a funny joke. Damn, I even went to hunt those shit-faced frost giants, and there. So I left, cowards, scoundrels, and sissies they were. That's why. You're a good fighter. Quite good, huh? Compared to who? If I was a crappy male, I'd fight better. Is that what you say? Or you say I could be better? Like, go get some training, Amari, right? You are very good in a fight. You are an excellent warrior. I've just given you a compliment, that's all. True, I fight good. That's what I do best. You're rather rude, you know. You bet. I'm a fighter, big and strong. Everyone's afraid of me. I can't play the softy. Who would ever fear me then? Let's talk about something else. So why did you leave your tribe, and what's the story about the frost giants? I told you already, they were assholes. They treat women like sheep, not fighters. As for giants, I'll tell you later someday, maybe. It's a formidable sword, but it's not just a simple weapon, is it? You bet it's not simple. Check out how big it is. The sword belonged to a real plastic frost giant. I killed the beast and took this looker for myself. Fits me perfectly. My damn trophy. Thanks for talking to me. Let's speak again later. Talking. When will we do some monster killing instead? And I'm sure all of you agree with her. So we are going to kind of look around the city, make sure we're not missing anybody to talk to. It doesn't seem that way, but we'll just do a double check. Already checked there. But that was quite a bit of reading I had to do.
Let's head out.
What are we going on? 3 episodes of just talking, right? So, with that, we're probably going to end things here, and I'll pick up tomorrow, probably do a couple more episodes, and we'll start our journey and get moving. We've gotten all the speech dialogues out of the way with these characters for now, so that is good. But yeah, if you are enjoying the streams so far, or the videos so far, let me know in the comments section. Also, let me know in the comments section what I can improve on, what I can change. Every bit of advice is helpful, you know. But as for everything else, like and subscribe if you do. And until next time, y'all have a great rest of the day.